In this lesson, we'll cover creating zones. We already know that spaces are created in MEP in order to run analysis on the elements and area within that space. For example, HVAC analysis. Our next step once we have spaces are to create zones. Zones would be an area that's controlled by certain temperature or humidity or any other elements within that area, or in this case, zone. So looking at my model, I want to create different zones based on the different spaces within this model. So I could probably say Office 1, Office 2, and Office 3 is a zone because I want all three of those to have a central or a common temperature control. I would like maybe the reception, men, women's, and corridor 101A to be another zone. Corridor 101B, the break room, mechanical, electrical, and utility spaces will be another zone. And then the conference room will be a zone in itself. So to create these zones, let's go to the Analyze tab, and on the Spaces and Zones panel, click Zone. Now when you click Zone, the ribbon actually changes, and you actually see the Properties button, Add, Remove Space, Finish, and Cancel for zones. First thing I want to note is, since properties are highlighted, the name for this zone, and you may have to scroll down to see this. Right now, the name for this zone is Zone 1. You can leave it that way or you can change it. We can always change it later in a zone schedule. So to add a space, in this method, click Add Space if it's not already selected, and then simply move over the spaces you want to add to this zone and click. As you click each space, they'll be surrounded by a black rectangle, indicating that is the zone. Once you're done with this zone, click Finish Editing Zone, and it adds a zone now to your model. Let's repeat the process. Go to the Analyze tab again, click Zone, verify Add Space is selected, note the name is Zone 2, and now we'll select everything at the front of the building: the reception, Corridor 101A, men's and women's restroom. Finish editing. Repeat again, click Zone. This time everything in the back: Corridor 101B, reception, mechanical, utility, and electrical. Finish. And then finally, click Zone one more time and click Conference. And then finish editing. And what we've created now are 4 zones inside of our building. So as a review, we looked at creating zones to group spaces together for various different types of controls for temperature and humidity within that area. Now, the method we used to create zones was we went to the Analyze tab, clicked Zone, and then started to click the different spaces we wanted to add to that zone. We also looked at the properties by being able to change the name of that zone. Now, another method which we didn't explore to create zones is first select your spaces, then click Zone, and the zone will be created for those highlighted spaces. But the method we used was more of the manual method of clicking Zone and then picking the spaces you want to add to that zone.